and it believes that traditional politics and the judiciary is not impartial. And these laws, for example, the Sapien 2 law, which is being used against Le Pen, is something which is a political tool for political targeting. And if courts are seen as players in activities, not guardians of the principle of democracy, a check and balance on the executives and the legislature, democracy will become instable. And this is where you have to understand that all this rhetoric may sound very interesting and from an Indian standpoint may sound in a way ironic, but this is based on very dangerous precedents. So if you have any understanding of world history, you will be able to understand the sentiment which I am trying to push through. A left versus right politics in Europe based on disillusionment over democratic institutions is dangerous. So just to bring everything together, because there's a lot I'm talking about with regards to tangentially linking it up with the Second World War also. See, there is left versus right politics happening across the world, but in Europe it is more pronounced. In America, it's more far right versus centralism, but in Europe it is pure left versus right. Le Pen represents anti-immigration, xenophobia, Islamophobia, make France great again type of rhetoric, Trump type rhetoric, and the fact that multiple institutions within Romania and Germany have identified certain bodies to be
Europe or India का comparison है
in a way brings back a lot of baggage which Europe has in a way buried but is still on the surface, which is that whenever previously left and right politics has happened with Russian influence or Russian intervention, and where people have supported the far right by saying that democracy is useless, not them, there has always been a lot of precedents for war in Europe. First World War was an ego war. Second World War was a pure war to fight against the concept of totalitarianism and fascism. So if UPSC asks you a question like this, you have to bring in your base knowledge of world history. That is why a lot of students don't realize that international relations or a lot of geopolitics will not make any sense if you don't have an understanding of world history. Because when I say Cold War 2.0, when I say Second Iron Curtain, when I say left versus right politics, when I say Bolshevism, when I say Russian intervention, it would need a little bit of context. So the tussle between the left and the right in the EU has dangerous and disastrous precedents too. This question cannot be written if you don't add world history with international relations with current. If you are able to do all these three things together, this in turn can lead to further understanding to develop. Right? I hope you understand this point. We'll do that. IRS planning for a marathon session on art and culture before the examination also. I'll very soon come up with that plan also, but I'll be there on 30th of April with you for art and culture current affairs marathon. But I'm planning, I push a poll into my Telegram group. Do you want a marathon for modern India or art and culture before the exam? In the first week of May or second week of May, I'll put in a poll into the group, whichever thing which you like, modern India or world history, or what we call as art and culture. Once the prelims is over, a world history marathon, I'll try to manage that also. I'll try to bring that also. I am not an issue that. Anything, anytime, no issue. Monu, I'll give you an opportunity to vote on. You want a modern India marathon over art and culture. So both is not possible with that time. Okay, we'll have this conversation in the Telegram. I hope you've joined the one where you'll find this PDF. It will be a democratic process. We'll see. Right? Okay. Now, moving to the next topic. I know most of you will say culture, some of you will say modern. It's a futile concept to be done within the life chain. Okay. Now, a very interesting article coming out of the Hindu newspaper is that people tend to create a linkage between monsoons and agriculture, right? But the relationship between monsoon, agriculture and food inflation is something which this article tries to establish. Now, the IMD, you must have gone this article just recently, which said that we will have a above normal monsoon, 105%, it is being argued. Now first, I want to discuss this concept that what does an above normal or what this 105% actually means. This 105% actually means that